Day 3 of Roland Garros is in the books, and we've had the Brazilian superstar Joao Fonseca storming through into round 2. An amazing performance from him. Novak Djokovic rolling back the years, 38 and still looking good. And Daniil Medvedev, he hates the clay and he's gone out early again.
That's right, it is day 3 action at Roland Garros, and the headlines were with the Brazilian sensation Joao Fonseca. He gets his first Roland Garros win, and what a performance it was against the in-form Hubi Hurkacz, fresh off a final in Geneva, losing to Djokovic, and he was playing very well in that match. But he didn't have any answers for Fonseca today. And it was one of the best performances I've seen from him for many reasons. Firstly, the way he moved around the court was astonishing. I've never seen someone, apart from Carlos Alcaraz, and I got a lot of shades of Carlos Alcaraz, being able to cover so much of the court at any one point. He's not a small guy, but he's not the tallest in the world. But his sort of wingspan is huge. Volley wise, he's like a brick wall when he's at the net. And from the baseline, when he's pushed and he's sliding on the clay, and this is why he's a clay court player for me through and through. We've seen he's not too bad on the hard courts, or grass he could be quite good too. But on the clay, we get to see the full motion of what he can do. And that is him sliding into the corner and finding fantastic forehands down the line when he needs to. Just a great talent, and now someone who can trouble every single player in the draw. And when he's in this kind of form, he is a contender to really win the tournament.
Wow, big words. I like it. The passion coming through from JG for his wild card for the year. and it's warranted on performances like this that he had today. He out-aced Hubi Hurkacz. Not many players do that. 9 aces to 6 for Hurkacz. But yeah, his overall performance was just nothing short of astonishing. Hubi Hurkacz, I think maybe he had a little bit of a hangover from the Geneva. He was crying after that. Like, it was a tough loss for him against Djokovic, but this one he just got completely whipped. He came onto the court, and before he knew it, the first set was gone. And how much power Joao Fonseca has. He hit 36 winners today, only 15 unforced errors. It's just, he had all the game, like the slide into the net with the volleys to finish off some of the points. He's got the wow factor, and it was 6-2, 6-4, 6-2. Hubi was very, very complimentary of him. Looked like he really was just giving him a nice pep talk afterwards at the net, just probably wishing him luck and just knowing how good he is. But this match, obviously, it was going to be one that was going to have a lot of attention. There was going to be people wanting to watch this match. Yep. And because it was playing Hurkacz, I don't think they put it on a big enough court. And they had balconies of the Philippe Chatrier were not watching the main court. They're coming to the balcony to look over to watch Fonseca playing on the other court. I mean, it's quite astounding. This kid is bringing the attention, and
he's a star. He's a star. Yeah, it wasn't just on the balcony. There was queues also trying to get into where they were playing. It was in high demand, and it's every match this kid plays because he has a star factor. He has the wow factor, someone different, someone who can do the unthinkable on a tennis court, like a Carlos Alcaraz. I think him being from Brazil does harness that sort of South American spirit more so. So the fans are even more diehard than ever. And just to go back on my point, when I said he can go and win a Grand Slam, I don't believe he is going to go and win this Grand Slam, for the record. I don't think he's going to win Roland Garros. I think he's going to struggle to sustain a really top level throughout the whole tournament. But what you saw today is that he's got an ability in there with some time and a bit more maturity and experience to go on win Grand Slams. Whether that is by the end of this year, next year, the year after, who knows? But it's going to happen. If he stays fit and he stays on this trajectory and keeps his body progressing and developing, it's a matter of time until we see him in Grand Slam finals or winning them.
Yeah, I mean, he's just that good, isn't he? You just
Yeah.
see all of the attributes that he has on a tennis court, and he has everything. He's a scary prospect if you're facing him at a slam in a first round and you're a seed. It's just almost it is the worst, I think, that you could possibly get. And Hubi Hurkacz, the number 30 seed, is out. We got Damien Kust with a good tweet in here saying another monster round one showing at a slam from Fonseca outserved Hurkacz, and don't get me started on the shot making. Not much resistance to Huber, maybe overwhelmed by the crowd or the Geneva disappointment still on his mind. Let's see if Joao follows it up. A way better round 2 draw than the Australian Open. He's playing Herbert, the Frenchman, and that will be a cracking crowd. We got French versus Brazilian for the next round. I can't wait for that one.
But it is an easier match on paper for sure.
It is.
And I forget who he went. Who did he play in the second round of the Australian Open? I know he beat Rublev in his opening match, but I forget who he lost to.
Yeah,
it might have been Sonego off the top of my head.
Let me have a quick check.
Off the top of my head, I think it's Sonego, but you might have to check. Despite
check
that, yeah, this is an easier matchup, and
correct.
Beyond that, though, the draw is not easy because Gael Monfils, he got through in 5, and he did something he's not done many times in his career, and that's come back from 2 sets down, beating Daniil, all the crowd there. The atmosphere was mental. Some of the shot making from Gael Monfils was fantastic. There was one point, I think, in the tie break in the 4th. I don't know if you saw it, to sort of clinch the set, where he's hit a fantastic forehand down the line after a long rally. Everyone went nuts. And at 38 years old, he's still doing it. And the stamina he's able to show against a younger Hugo Dellien, who's a clay court specialist, is phenomenal. And just he's aging like fine wine. He's getting better and better, it seems, because it's difficult to really argue that we're seeing the best Gael Monfils in 24 and 25. I think these last few years, the stuff we've seen from him have been amazing. I mean, the Australian Open this year, he beat a top 10 player at a slam in Taylor Fritz, something he doesn't often do. Let's be fair. He's fallen down a lot of the times against the top 10 players, most notably Novak Djokovic over the years.
Yep.
But next up is world number 5, Jack Draper. The winner of them two, the reason I'm bringing it up now is because whoever wins out of Jack Draper, who didn't play as well today and struggled through his match, but did get better as it went on, will be playing Fonseca. So we could be getting a 3rd round match potentially of a Fonseca Draper or Fonseca Monfils. Regardless, it's going to be huge.
If it's Monfils, it'll be even bigger than if it's Draper. Imagine in France, Monfils, Fonseca, but never overlook the next opponent. That would be the worst thing Joao Fonseca could do, because even though Herbert hasn't really been playing that much tennis from what I can see on like the main like tour level, he's still a player who just came out and beat Benjamin Bonzi, who's been playing all right, to be fair, and he beat him in 5 sets and was getting stronger as the match went on. You know what a great doubles player he is. He's so dangerous at the net. If he's able to get to the net, he normally wins the point. But it's just about if Fonseca can just bully him around from the back of the court, then I think it will be another straight sets victory for him. Yeah, but Monfils, speaking about him, I was gonna when I was watching this match, I thought it's actually becoming quite comical. Obviously, he's the last match on. We know Monfils so well for exhibition tennis right now. Do you think there is a part of it? There was part of me that thinking inside my head was, is he just letting Dellien go 2 sets up and then he's just pulling it back for 5 sets because the French crowd want to just have something to cheer for the last match of the day? Because there was a little bit like, I was like, how has he gone and lost one of those sets? It looked like he was a shoo-in to win one, and he just was suddenly 2 sets down. And then he wins the next one 6-1. And it's suddenly this dramatic, I don't know. Maybe he's just the showman that he is. He can allow his opponent 2 sets and then just to come back and for the show, for the crowd. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I just feel consistency wasn't quite there. But great to see he's raw. I don't know if you've seen it after he won. A lot of emotion. And that part of the draw now is certainly hotting up, and more so after seeing this level from Fonseca, because now we know that that's in the chamber. A Fonseca Draper could be special, and I don't think that is a foregone conclusion that Draper wins it. But of course, we're not going to speak about that yet. There's plenty of matches to be played. I don't want to be disrespectful to Herbert or Monfils, certainly. We could even be seeing a Herbert Monfils 3rd round. Anything is possible for sure. And I think today there was a few results which made me think that more than most. Because let me get the upset up, the big upset. And that is Cameron Norrie defeating Daniil Medvedev. I would consider it an upset, but maybe you wouldn't.
Well, let's rewind back to the draw preview, can we, everybody? And see who I put through in my bracket. I picked Cam Norrie. That's correct, everybody. And yeah, he did. He won in 5, despite losing to Daniil Medvedev recently in straight sets. He's actually turned the corner, I think, in Geneva. That match against Djokovic was close. That was what made me think Cam Norrie could do this. And he did. I mean, look, he came back from 5-3 down in the 5th set as well to defeat Medvedev in almost 4 hours. Norrie likes a grind, and especially Norrie is pretty good on clay courts as well. And that's why I thought it was a horrible matchup for Daniil. Daniil, well, I've seen a few memes going around saying that he hates the clay again, and it's all of that type of thing. But I think he just came up. But this was another awful person to play in the 1st round. You could get a Fonseca, you can get a Cam Norrie. All of these players, they're terrible for the likes of your Hurkaczes and your Medvedevs, because they're not the best on clay courts as it is anyway. So Cam Norrie through, and Daniil left licking his wounds.
And he was leading as well. I mean, 2 sets to love, serving for the match at one point. I mean, Daniil Medvedev had his chances. He just, for me, has lost that concentration and focus in the big moments. He's a little bit slapdash, a little bit too relaxed in big moments, or maybe
he's going to come back. The comeback from 2 sets to love down was on. He was 5-3 up in that 5th set. He literally was just about to complete what seemed the impossible, and then he just lost 4 games in a row. Don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, I know. It's I'm not sure. I think he's just really losing concentration. This match he had won. He did the comeback. The 3rd set was, he had it in the thing. The 4th set very comfortable. The 5th set had it in the back. The match was done. He just lost concentration. And Daniil Medvedev, for me, is a man in decline. I don't think it's just the clay. I think we're going to start seeing more performances like this on hard courts as well, and the grass. And he's in trouble because I think he's going to really struggle to win Grand Slams in this current climate unless he changes his mentality in these big moments. Not so much the big matches, just moments. Because over the course of a match, we still see some really good tennis from him. Good enough tennis to win the best prizes in the game. It's just moments he can't seem to get his concentration together.
Yeah, disappointing. And just when we thought he was turning the corner a little bit on the clay, he back to the drawing board, it would seem. One person who he could probably learn from, and despite his age, we've seen Monfils doing it at 38 years old. Well, Novak Djokovic is still doing it at 38 years old, grabbed his 100th title, and now a nice straight sets victory against Mackenzie McDonald. And some of the movement from Djokovic still, it is something to just behold, how he's able to just glide to the net, slide, still do all of these like crazy things that you see some of the youngsters still doing, and he's still doing it. And look who was in the crowd hiding. just there to support Julie. She was there. Good
I
to
think
see.
she's from France, though, right?
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, so that would make more sense. But Djokovic, yeah, my thoughts on him is hitting the ball very clean. I saw the highlights. I liked the way he was playing. Mackenzie McDonald gave some good shots at times, and Djokovic looks dialed in. It's the best level of Djokovic we've seen this year. He's not had a particularly great 2025 so far, but we're starting to see a better, more consistent level from him, and that's at the best time. Because if you want to try and find your tennis, now is the time. May, ahead of Wimbledon, Roland Garros, good opportunity. There's no Rafael Nadal. It's a more of an open tournament. I know Alcaraz has done quite well the last few years, but Djokovic playing like this can trouble all of them. So we've got a good tournament on our hands if he continues in this way.
Up against Moutet next. That should be a fiery one.
Shot of the match, Moutet.
Yeah,
I'm going to give
really.
him a shout out there. That was shot of the match, shot of the day, shot of the tournament.
Whole point was incredible.
Honestly, it was a prime Andy Murray, like the best level of Andy Murray you could ever see. Tabur, I think it was the Frenchman smashing down smashes, and he got one back, the next one back, and then he had a backhand winner from thing. We saw a little twinginess through the legs. You've got to give him his credit. He is someone who's very watchable. He can lose his rag. He can break millions of rackets and get very upset. He can even walk off the court. We don't know what you're going to get from him, but he's got some special shots in him, and you'd pay your ticket to just see him play tennis. Hopefully we get this arrogant Moutet against Djokovic, because I think he plays best in them situations. He will have a lot of love from the French crowd. And the way he was defending, he's going to need all of that and more against Novak Djokovic. But a fantastic point, wasn't it?
Oh, it was amazing, and there was just something about, even though that his opponent qualified with ease, I just thought Moutet is sort of on another level when it comes to clay courts, especially. He is actually very, very good. So even though all the antics are there, it's sometimes a bit of deception. You can think, oh, he's a bit of a joker, he's a bit like erratic. Yeah, he's still damn good though. And I think I might try and get a bit of modeling. I might try and, do you reckon I got the similar sort of look if I do the same pose?
There's been quite a few people who say you look like Moutet. So let us know in the comments section. Do you think Ben looks a little bit like a Moutet?
I think the hair's quite there, though, is it? I think the hair.
If you shaved your sides more, then yeah.
I just need a little bit of flopping down, maybe. There you go.
There we go. We've got a Moutet on the podcast.
That's it.
But let's move on to the next story. Maybe we'll go to the women next, because someone you've got inside your top 10, someone you love, Karolina Muchova, she's out in 3 sets, losing to Alicia Parks. I'm not massively shocked. We know these performances can happen from Muchova. I've not seen the match at all. I've not seen highlights even, so I can't comment too much on it. Just the result and the reaction I've seen online. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm disappointed, but like you said, I'm not that surprised, just because we haven't really seen her stringing many victories together over the past months. Her last tournament was in Miami. She lost to Svitolina, and yeah, before that she lost to Iga in Indian Wells. I don't know. I didn't know where her level was. I haven't seen her play on a clay court this year, so it was just difficult. I was just hoping, based upon past form, but I don't think you can just come in and just play your first clay court match and hope that you're just going to get through. It's just not enough. I think we're starting to see maybe a little bit, and this is on the men's and the women's, like some of these players like your Medvedevs, your Muchovas, some of the other players who were the mainstays, so they're sort of dropping down now in the rankings. And maybe I was a bit foolish to think that Muchova would be still up there with the rest of them, considering she's had a lot of injury problems as well. I don't know what the rest of the year holds for her. I hope
It's injuries though, Ben. I feel like it's purely that, because technically she's still there. She's
she
still
is very good.
a competitor who can go and win Grand Slams. That's how good she is. But I think the wrist is preventing her from playing. It's a little bit like Dominic Thiem. I feel
terrible.
the levels there, she just can't. She can't do it physically. Her body's not allowing her to produce the shots she wants to do. We know there's a potential player in there. If she can overcome some of the injury concerns, then she'll do well. But unfortunately, it's not looking that way right now for her.
Yeah, very, very sad news, I'd say, because I actually I think she would get better as she goes into the tournament. We'll never even get to find out how good she was going to be. I think we have to mention, obviously, it's been sort of the day of 5 setters, really. We didn't have
more
many.
so, isn't it?
Yeah, we had more. Medvedev won. De Jong coming back from 2 sets to love down to defeat Pesaro. Well done to him. We had Walton defeating Martira. I didn't see that one coming. Big underdog shock there. And Herbert beating Bonzi. We had Rocha defeating Basashvili. That was another underdog win there. And the big one at the end, Felix, 2 sets to love up, losing to Arnaldi there, who came through.
I feel like Felix did this recently. He was 2 sets up and lost in 5.
When was that?
Recently, it's happened with Felix. Someone in the comments, let me know when it happened, but I'm confident Felix was 2 sets up recently and lost.
Australia?
Not sure, but
I
know
might have been
that
against Fokina in Australia. Let me have a quick check. Yes, it was against Davidovich Fokina in Australia. That happened to him there as well? Oh no!
I remember some of the information, but not all of it.
Yeah, so this is a great result. Somebody who's continuing on their amazing form is Kaboli. Cilic, not an easy first round match either, and
I think it is now though. I think Marin Cilic, Stan Wawrinka,
doesn't have the
time in the sun's done. It's they just can't compete with this level of tennis right now. Just like Kvitova on the women's, it's a different chapter of tennis, and unfortunately, these guys aren't there anymore. Stan's also come out and said that maybe he's not going to play Roland Garros anymore if he can't get his ranking up. So that could have been the last time we see him. Of course, former champion, legend of the sport.
Yes.
Can we speak about Sinner quickly? Not in terms of his tennis, just some funny things, because I didn't get to do the one yesterday.
No worries.
And I sent you a nice photo of Sinner. And I know we've got a few Sinner fans who watch these podcasts. So shout out to you, Sinner fans.
Bring it up. And
I want people to let me know what they think about his outfit, because there's a lot of
I've seen it as well.
There's a lot of comparison. So we've got one here, Vapor Rub Vicks. There's also the Sinner Sprite bottle. I don't know if you've seen that.
I've not seen that one.
The Sprite bottle was quite good. I don't think I sent it to you. You might have to type it in.
Okay. What's this one? I've got Mario and Luigi. This one.
Yeah.
He does look a bit like Luigi now. I don't know what. I quite like the outfit, though, I have to say. I'm not mad at the outfit. But let me see if I can find this Sprite bottle one. But
no, I don't think you can find it. I can't find it now. But everyone knows what a Sprite bottle is. People are saying that's the Sinner thing. I like the outfits. I agree. I don't mind the range, what we've got. I love that he's wearing the green. You've got Draper in the red. They could, of course, switch at some point. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Sinner in the red soon. Or if they just stick with the same one the whole way throughout.
7-Up.
Oh, sorry. I think it was 7-Up. Or was it Sprite? I forget now.
I think it's... Well, there you go. I mean, I think there's a lot. It makes you think, though. These colours are used for quite a few different things. But I still like it. They're obviously popular colours. Otherwise, Nike wouldn't have put them on their kit. But I think that I like the fact that he's not playing in all black anymore, because they were calling him like Darth Sinner or something in the last one. Now they're calling him Luigi. So I think it's a nice change for him to be wearing something a bit brighter. Maybe it helps him around the court as well. Maybe a few bright colours. don't know, like go faster stripes.
He doesn't need any more help than what he's got,
Yannick
Yannick Sinner. I think he's doing just fine as he is. Back to the women's, some results to speak about, and then we'll wrap it up. Maria Sakkari, I don't want to keep picking on her, but it's just it's pointless even saying she can win. I did say to you in the draw preview, by the way, what a Grand Slam. You've got Sakkari winning a Grand Slam.
Yeah,
she isn't winning Grand Slams. Doesn't matter who she's playing. She's like, I remember you saying, "Oh no, she'll be fine against that." You've not even got it up.
There we are, Giacomo.
But no, just still another loss. I mean, there's a lot of money to be made. Every Sakkari match, you'll get her as a underdog. She was a favourite, so bet on the opponent as an underdog, and you'll make money every single time.
You would have made money if you went for the double, a Freck and Giacomo today. You would have made quite a lot of money. Jabeur and Sakkari both out. If you add Cam Norrie in there as well, we have Mertens going out as well. Another I said to you this morning, literally, I sent you a message and I said, "Today's the day." All the underdogs, so there's going to be a lot of underdogs.
But it's not big underdogs, Ben, because none of these are contenders. If you're looking at contenders, go right to the top. You got Medvedev, my champion for the tournament. She got through in straight sets.
Comfortable.
Coco Gauff, even more comfortable.
Being
someone who I believe can go quite far.
Yeah, for sure.
But I am looking at Medvedev, still confident that she can go on and win this tournament.
Yeah, looking down the list, just the final ones. Unfortunately, we had two Argentinians who I thought would do all right, and they both went out. So Sierra actually got knocked out by Putintseva, had too much quality. Obviously, she's been deep in this tournament, I think, a couple of times before, so she knows it like the back of her hand. And Maria Carla, never backing her again, I don't think. Anne Lee completely demolished her. I'm watching her. It was so frustrating as well. I was watching her thinking, when's she going to suddenly turn it on? And she just never.
No, she's not. She's fallen off a little bit. Well, quite a bit actually from when I was raving about her last year. But let's wrap it up there. Thanks for watching. Yeah. This is our day 3 reaction of Roland Garros. The big story being Joao Fonseca. It's difficult to not speak about him right now. I do believe he is a special talent who's going to be here to stay. I think this tournament probably come too soon, but he is a future Roland Garros champion in the making. And in the section he's in, Draper, Monfils, these guys are not going to be happy because he is a player you do not want to play. He'll be an underdog and a dangerous one at that, because I think in this kind of form, the way he's playing, he can beat either of them.
Yeah, one small bit of news that I've just seen, because obviously we've finished all of the first round matches are done now on the men's and women's side, and on the men's there's actually somebody who's gone through already to the third round by a walkover, and that is Ben Shelton. Hugo Gaston has withdrawn from the tournament.
That's old news. I think that was this morning, Ben.
Oh, okay, no worries. I only just noticed it on the draw. So Ben Shelton happy. He'll face either Tsitsipas or Gigante in round 3.
Perfect. If you haven't already, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and we'll see you tomorrow.